We were pretty famous back in high school. Trust us!
Had a whole future ahead of us, but now we suck.
All that potential now is flowing in the aqueducts.
Through the sands of time, many did forget.
But now our time has come to resurrect. But a podcast?
Sad I know, but can you blame us?
We are desperate to be much more than high school famous. It's as good a time as any. Everyone, hello.
Hi.
Welcome in several languages to High School Famous. Please, students, turn your textbooks to page 193 and read what's on it.
We'll be over here.
We'll be over here, twiddling our posable thumbs.
And playing with our fidget spinners.
And possibly eating some sandwiches we may have prepared for ourselves.
Mine's bologna.
Mine is, well, I like to get some boar's head ham or turkey, sliced cheese.
I assume boar's head is a brand, not like you're not eating boar's head turkey.
No, it's a brand.
I'm eating boar's head turkey.
Their slogan is compromise elsewhere.
Okay.
What it has a double meaning in my opinion. The first one is, hey, don't compromise here. Do that somewhere else. This is where you want the cream of the crop, the top shelf stuff.
Right.
The second meaning
cream very hard to crop, by the way.
Yeah, there's some farmers who've got the process mastered, but it's
got
very
a fairly
few.
low yield.
Yeah, quite low yield. Yeah, a lot of it just gets absorbed into the ground or evaporated in the sun. It leaves a very, very, very sticky mess. And it's, with the ever dwindling number of farmers that you find in the country.
Yeah.
The few that know how to do it is even growing smaller. It's a dying art, really.
Yeah, cream prices are skyrocketing.
Ooh, yeah, ooh. They charge a premium for that cream. Oh, yeah, and it affects the globe, too,
You could say it's a creamium.
Ew.
I'm very tired.
Schwa. Hey, for breakfast, I made breakfast, and then for lunch, I went out and had breakfast, and then for dinner, I had breakfast. So you would think I would be awake by now.
You ate breakfast 3 times today?
I did, yeah.
So that's to say you ate breakfast foods 3 times a day. That's right. Typically known as breakfast foods.
Yeah, I had almost the exact same meal 3 times today.
I mean, that's no different than like somebody who's like, I'm going to make my life more efficient by wearing the same clothes every single day, like the same outfit every single day, because that cuts down the time it takes me to pick out an outfit every day. This was just like streamlined meals.
Are you thinking of a particular person who took that approach to life? Maybe? Yeah, that's the only one.
That and every cartoon character. That's
you know what? They did it first.
Mm-hmm.
They did it first.
They made life so efficient. They didn't even need the use of a 4th finger. They're just like, no, 3 fingers and a thumb. I'm good.
Sure, they made life efficient in some ways, but in order for their existence to happen at all, it was incredibly inefficient. Every single frame of their movement had to be drawn.
Yeah. But it's all right.
Not efficient.
We didn't do that. We farmed that out overseas. We give keyframes. Yeah. We do keyframes, and then we send that off to like some Asian country.
Animation company. And as a trade-off, we give them a deal on cream.
Mm-hmm.
They give us a deal on the pictures.
I mean, it's getting to that point now with the cream prices going up so high that we might as well just do our own animation.
Bring it back home, I say. Bring the jobs back to America, I say.
All these out-of-work animators here in the U.S.
Yeah, they're starving.
Yeah,
it's a dead art.
They've all had to go to TikTok now to make any sort of money. To get any sort of following so they can get some money.
That's true. Yeah, TikTok has become the indeed for the young folks. So the second meaning behind the Boar's Head Compromise Elsewhere slogan, I would say, is that they want you to, we're so expensive that you need to pinch your pennies elsewhere so you can afford us. They're like, hey, go compromise elsewhere so you can continue to buy our meats and cheeses.
I'm pretty sure the actual thing is to say, like, compromise on good food elsewhere. Like, this is good food. Eat this. Compromise your food intake in other ways.
I don't think it specifically means just the food intake. I'm just saying their whole point is, hey, don't go cheap here. Buy us the good premium meats
They're
and
like,
cheeses.
we know we're expensive, but
yeah,
it's because we're good.
It's because we're that good.
We could lower our prices, but no. Skimp out somewhere else.
Our margins are pretty low as it is. I mean, do you know how much it costs to turn boar's head into turkey? It's really, really expensive.
It's probably just as expensive as cream cropping.
Yeah, which I don't think they claim to include any cream in their ingredients, in their concoctions of meats or cheeses. So
I mean, I always have.
Do you know what it takes?
I always have cream in my meat.
Yeah, that's ready for cropping.
Mm-hmm.
Get out there and crop that meat cream, fellas.
So what have you been up to?
What have I been up to?
Yeah, I don't know.
Gosh.
We haven't spoken in weeks, Sean. It's been weeks.
Multiple weeks. For those watching on the YouTube version of the show in about 4 months, you'll notice that Matt is in a different room.
Yeah. Oh my God.
What's going on with the fact that did you acquire a new room? Did you add a room to your existing place?
An additional room.
Very good. So who had to give up their room for you to be able to build a new room?
I kicked everyone out of the apartment building. I took the whole thing over.
Good. Why didn't you make yourself a bigger room?
I mean,
that's a small room.
You don't know how big this room is. You have no idea where I am. I could be in the very middle of the room right now. You don't know. That would still make it a small room because I can see how close the walls are to you in relation to where you are. If you're in the center of the room and that's where the walls are, those walls look a lot closer to me than they actually are right now.
Oh, I see. I can't
touch that wall.
You've got your camera pointed to a side mirror of a vehicle on the passenger side. And so objects are closer than they appear.
Yeah, I mean, that wall, like...
we know your arm span
that door is about 10 feet away from me.
Your arm span is tiny. So that's not a good measurement of how far those walls are away from you.
Hey, nobody knows how tall I am. I could be 8 feet tall.
I wasn't talking about your height. I was talking about your arm span. Check it out. It doesn't exist.
It could.
Create my wiki, people.
Yeah, somebody create wiki for High School Famous and put whatever you want on there. Make it crazy.
Yeah. I will state for the record, for the Wikipedia record, I'm 6'3". I'm about 280.
Not even close.
Solid muscle.
Cock.
All penis. It's all penis.
Solid cock.
Solid cock weight. And I punched up. And
80 of that 280 is all cock.
Oh yeah. And then about 3 ounces of brain. So come and get it. And I've got piercing blue eyes, and I don't need braces.
Nobody needs braces.
Nobody. I wouldn't benefit from braces. Teeth braces. We're not talking leg braces or anything like that.
Right.
I'm specifically talking about, the teeth. Teeth braces. So jumping away from you being in a new room, because who cares about that?
And if we want, I mean, we've mentioned it on here. We've mentioned on here before that I was going to be moving. And we haven't talked in 2 weeks because Sean and I recorded a couple episodes so that I could not have to record while I was moving. So I moved last weekend.
So Matt can move in peace.
I honestly thought you were about to take 2 and then scissor them.
Yeah, because that has a lot to do with, relocating.
It has nothing to do with anything. That's just what my brain thought you were going to do.
I'm glad you let your brain do the thinking. It seems to be spot on. You should allow some other part of your body.
What part of your body do you allow to do the thinking?
My elbows sometimes. I'm moving my shoulders because I'm moving my shoulders with my elbows. You just can't see it.
Yeah, but what's causing your elbows to do the moving?
My thoughts, my elbow thoughts.
You're okay. And those thoughts come from where?
I call this dance the elbow macaroni. The elbow macarena? The elbow pastarena. It's where you make your pasta do the macarena. It's the pastarena.
It's an elbow pasta?
Yeah. Exactly.
Macaroni.
Yep. Exactly. Now you're there. I'm sure you let some other part of your body take over to figuring things out and left it not up to your brain. Otherwise, you wouldn't have come to that so quickly.
You have no idea how quickly I come to things.
Great. With that meat cream. That's a giant mug, unless this is also deceiving.
It's a pretty big mug. It's one of those, has like a top. It's like a soup mug kind of situation. Yeah.
You shook it to demonstrate?
No, I was shaking it because there's ice in it. We got rid of a lot of our
normal sized mugs.
No, we just basically threw out so much. We threw out so much shit, dude. I threw out so let's see. We threw out probably at least 20 plus garbage bags full of stuff. Just stuff that we realized we don't need. So just a lot of shit went in the trash. We donated 14 bags full of clothes and shoes. That was
what?
So, okay. What? So some of that stuff, so that was over the years of building up. Like there was a lot of clothes that had been gone through like years ago, and we put them in bags, and then we're like, okay, we'll donate these, but until we do, I'm just going to go throw them down in storage. Well, then they sat down in storage for several years. So then it just kind of built up. So then when we were moving again, we went through all the clothes again, and we're like, okay, yeah, let's get rid of this, and this as well. So in the end, it ended up being 14 bags worth of stuff that I went and dumped in one of those donation bins.
Sadly, they were clothes that during that time came back into style and then went back out of style. So now they're donated and no one wants them.
There's no one wants them. Yeah.
I mean, all your Janko jeans, no one's going to want those anymore because that ship has resailed.
Those have been gone for so long.
Yeah, years, like you said, in storage.
Not that many years in storage. At most, the longest one of the bags has sat in storage is maybe 3 years.
Okay. All right. So that's not, crazy.
Yeah, it wasn't like we had them in storage and then we're like, well, we're moving this time, so let's bring these stored bags of giveaway clothes with us and put them in new storage. And by storage, I mean the basement storage location. I was going to say, I didn't rent a storage locker somewhere and had stuff sitting in it.
You could have been doing that if that were the case. Like, why move it? Why move it? Just keep it in the same storage unit.
Yeah, no, I don't have a storage unit elsewhere.
We won't find your stuff anytime soon on Storage Wars. Does that show still exist?
I have no idea.
I don't either.
So yeah, that did all that, and then just threw a ton of shit away. And then there was stuff that we were planning to move here that when we were actually like loading up the truck, we realized like, nah, and then that went in the trash too. Wow. So yeah, we got rid of our kitchen table. We got rid of like our dishes, all of the cups we had, because we're just going to replace all that shit. And just tons of kitchen shit that we've already replaced. So we threw a bunch of that shit away.
Well, so why, for example, the plates? Like, why are you planning to replace them?
Because apparently we wanted a new set.
Oh, you're saying we. I don't think that means we.
I was told we wanted a new set of dishes.
When you say apparently we wanted something, it doesn't mean you wanted it. It means you were told that it was wanted.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we bought a whole new pan set, so all of our pans went. So a lot of stuff. So I say like a lot of stuff got thrown away, but really, what a lot of it was we took lot of stuff and set it by the dumpsters, and then literally one person came and took 90% of the stuff that we put down by the dumpster, and it was a ton of shit.
Hey, it's a haul, man.
So yeah, it's because somebody like I brought some stuff down and somebody was walking by and they kind of like scoffed at me. They're like, "I should donate that." I'm just kind of like, "Go fuck yourself." And then like 20 minutes after that, some guy started taking everything. So I'm just like, this is my way of donating it. Because I'm like, I'm going to set it here. Somebody's going to come take it. If I bring it to somewhere like Goodwill, they're going to fucking sell it.
They
At
are
least
going to sell it.
Somebody can take it and like use it. And they don't have to buy it. So I'm just like, it's by the dumpster. If somebody takes it, cool. If not, then it gets thrown away. So
sticking it to the man.
Not really.
Oh,
just not feeding into a corporation that profits off of donations.
Yeah, that's the man.
It's a man.
It's a man. I mean, there are several men that we don't want to. There are several men we want to stick it to. We want to stick it to in this establishment, and you've just done it to one of them. Just stuck it right to him. Apparently,
yeah. And then randomly, so I moved on Monday, and randomly Saturday night, I think I told you about this, but I get a phone call from my mother who just says, the movers are here. And I didn't know what that meant. So I was very confused, thinking that she had movers at her house for some reason. I'm like, okay.
Right.
And she's like, come downstairs. The movers are here. So yeah, my mom, my sister, and my sister's boyfriend randomly showed up at my place from Minnesota Saturday night to help move, which thank God they did, because it literally took us all frickin' day to get everything out of the place into the truck and cleaned up the apartment to leave.
Was Monday the only day you could move?
So we couldn't move in until Monday.
Oh.
And then so that was the 5th, and I didn't want to pay for a ton of extra time at the old place.
Yeah.
To stay longer. So I just wanted to kind of get it all done in one day. So I had to already pay for 5 days to stay at the overstay at the other place. So didn't really care to pay for half a month there plus a full month here. So
yeah. Why do
it? Wasn't worth it. So yeah. So by the end of the day, Monday, I was absolutely fried. And then luckily I had Tuesday off. So I just kind of puttered around a little bit here on Tuesday, got a few things set up, and then went back to work Wednesday, and then been kind of putzing around here getting stuff set up. So yeah, my room currently, I have one piece of art there on the wall. I can't figure out. There. My camera's flipped, so I was like pointing the wrong direction. Even though I could have just mentally realized that it's over there.
You could have.
I've got that up. I got bed, desk. This setup is. It might sound a little echoey today because I don't have my panels up or anything yet. But
I know when I
switched back to my condenser.
We're both on the condensers now.
I wanted to give it a try here to see how it sounded.
Yeah, I'm curious to see with this new place how well it might block out any outside noise.
The windows here are really great already for that, because we've had the front windows open a bit because we kind of have a little sunroom in the front.
Yeah,
and there's crazy street noise. We're on a pretty busy street, and then we close the windows and it's like almost nothing. So that's pretty nice. And then now I'm not on a corner anymore, which is good.
Okay.
And then my room is all the way in the back of the house too. So I'm not anywhere near the street anymore.
Oh. Are you, is your room carpeted or is it hardwood?
Yep. Carpeted. So that'll help a lot.
Yeah, that'll be great.
What was that laugh for?
I said, "Is your room carpeted or hardwood?" And you go, "Yep."
Well, yeah, 'cause I was
So
like, yep, carpeted.
no, I know, but it took a second for you to say carpeted. I'm like, oh, okay,
Well,
just
I'm
one of
sure
those
there's
moments.
hardwood. I'm sure there's hardwood underneath.
Yeah, that's what they all say.
I don't think that's what they all say. If I have to really think about it.
That was a nice thing in my St. Louis Park house. The living room and hallway were carpeted for some reason, and the bed and the main bedroom was carpeted, but you could tell that the other two bedrooms in the hall were hardwood. So it's like, well, you guaranteed there's just hardwood under here.
Yeah.
So ripped it all up, and but there was some dark pet stains here and there.
Right.
And so, we never got around to like refinishing it or anything, but hey, we briefly had a house with hardwood floors, and now I rent this place.
Nice. The bedrooms are carpeted, and then the front little sunroom is carpeted, and then everything else is hardwood.
Yeah, hardwood's great. I just don't like the creaking. All the creaking.
Yeah, it creaks a bit. It doesn't creak as badly here as it did at the last place.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's good. This place is bigger. It's a little bit more updated. But yeah, it's got one of those weird double hinge doors that separates the living room area from like the kitchen area, like the kitchen hallway area. It's got a double swing door.
I think I know what that means.
Like if you go to like a restaurant and the doors between like the kitchen and like the dining area, it'll like you can push it both directions.
Oh,
open both ways.
Gotcha.
So,
like a saloon.
Yeah, but it's a full door.
Right, but I'm just thinking of a cooler example.
Yes, Sean, a saloon door. It's a saloon door.
Yeah, you got a saloon door separating your kitchen and living room? Yes?
Yeah, so so do you remember
Nope.
the place I had before the last one?
Vaguely.
It's almost exactly the same layout as that. So you kind of like walk into living room, and then there's dining room, and then there's like a hallway, bathroom right off the hallway, second bedroom off of the hallway as well, back into the kitchen. So it's that same thing where at the living room, right where it goes into the hallway, but that's where the door is.
Getcha.
Yeah.
Well, at some point I'll have to get your new address, and then
just show up randomly.
I'll just call you and say the movers are here.
You're coming back home.
And that'll be, I won't be there. I will have sent your mom and sister's boyfriend there. And then I'll call you and say the movers are here. And you'll go, huh? And you'll go down and it'll be them instead of me. And then they'll make you move all your stuff out.
Well, now I have a Ring camera, so I can just see who's there and I can just deny access.
I will tell them you'll deny access to your mother and sister's boyfriend?
I might. I'll be like, I had 3 days of you. I'm done.
Well, this isn't going to happen soon. I'm going to give you time to miss them. And Ring cameras have a certain field of view. They're not, you can't see everything, so they can just step out of view. It's not difficult.
Well, then I have no reason to go down to the door. I'm like, oh, nobody's here then.
No, I'm telling you that the movers are here. That's you've been instructed to go down to let in someone. The movers.
Yeah, but then I'll look at the camera
me.
And I'll see. Yeah. Oh, well, nobody's actually here. Sean's pranking me, and then I just won't go.
But you're gonna check the last cell tower that my phone pinged off of, and I'll have tricked the system to make it appear as though it pinged off of a tower that is local to you, and then you will think, oh, he must be here. His last cell phone ping was at that tower right over there. I can see it from my window of my new place.
I'll just call you and I'll say, where are you? You're not at the door.
I'll say, I'm at the door. I'm standing out of the view of the Ring doorbell. You can't see me. Trust me, I'm here.
And then I'll say, well, then step into the view of the camera so that I can tell you're actually here. I feel like I'm getting, I'm about to get jumped or something. Like now I don't feel safe.
I'll say, I'm a vampire now.
That's not how vampires work.
Vampires don't work. They don't exist. I can make up anything about vampires and it can work.
But the stuff that's already made up about don't make up new shit about vampires. Twilight did that and it was awful.
Twilight has a huge following.
Yeah, but it was but it's awful.
What team were you?
I haven't decided yet.
You better figure it out. The election's in a couple months.
God, they're both awful. I don't know.
I don't know those movies enough to really pick a side, nor do I care. I don't even remember the vampire's name. I remember the other guy's name is Jacob, right? I don't even remember the vampire's name.
I was also blanking on the other guy.
Yeah,
Edward. There it is.
I was just gonna say I want to say it's Edward, but that sounds like not cool enough of a name for him.
It's funny because I was sitting here, I'm like, what team am I? I'm like, shit, I can only think of Jacob.
Yeah, that's what I was. I'm like, I better
to be honest. I'm fully not Team Jacob, but I don't know if I'm Team Edward, but I'm definitely not Team Jacob.
Well, then you're Team Edward if you're not Jacob.
No, I don't have to choose. I don't have to be on Team Edward. I can choose to not be on either team. I'm just saying I'm 100% not Team Jacob.
Then you are not exercising your right as an American to make an impact on the country and how it's run.
I was trying to remember the name of Brad Pitt's character in fucking Interview with a Vampire.
Interview with a Vampire?
I was going to say that's what team I was actually on.
Do not ask me that question because I will never guess.
Because all I can think of is Tom Cruise's character, which is Lestat. And I can't think of... God, what is it? Look it up for me. Because I know you're doing that. And it'll probably come to me like right as you find it. What was Tom Cruise's character's name you said? Lestat? Okay. All right. Louis de Pointe-du-Lac. Damn it. Yes. Okay. I'm Team Louis.
Yes. What about Antonio Banderas's character?
I'm not necessarily Team Armand.
Armand.
Why do I know this shit?
I don't know because you've seen it once or
no, I've seen it several times and I've listened to the book. The book is really good.
Of course. It's better than the movie.
Better than the movie.
Now, I never saw the show.
A better timeline than the movie.
I never saw the show they did, but I heard good things. Obviously, you can delve into more material that's featured in the book than probably you could in the movie. So maybe it's closer to the source material than the movie was.
It possibly is.
Armand. Yeah, I don't know. I know I've at least seen some of that. I don't know if I've seen it all the way through. I don't know if I've watched it all the way through.
It's a good flick. Give it a shot.
No.
It has Christian Michael Leonard Slater in it.
Oh, great. I think I knew that.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of his time
doing the interview.
He is the interviewer. He's the one interviewing. Yes, he's interviewing the vampire. I recall that. I recall that. And he plays Daniel Malloy, of course.
Yeah, I knew that.
This picture, I'm gonna take a quick little screenshot of this if it'll let me, and I'll show you. I'll send it to you so you can see what picture they have on the list of characters for Christian Slater's Daniel Malloy, and you tell me if this is really Christian Slater or not.
Okay.
So uno momento. I must. Content. It sure is. Maybe I'll put it up in the video version of the episode. All right, I just sent you Christian Slater. I texted you Christian Slater according to the Google results for the movie Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah, no, that's definitely not.
Nope.
Not only is that not from the movie at all, that is definitely not even Christian Slater.
It's not even Christian Slater in another movie.
It might just be some guy named Daniel Malloy. Somebody found on the internet.
It looks like an actor that I recognize.
It's kind of a blurry picture. It's hard to tell.
Yeah. If you remember in American History X, the guy who played Edward Norton's dad.
Oh, it's not him.
It's not?
The guy who played Edward Norton's dad in that movie was, I believe, the kid, or the guy that was the dad on Boy Meets World.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think this is Daniel Malloy. Is the guy's name and who's in the picture?
Is it actually?
Well, I clicked on the picture and it brought me to a result that just says Daniel Malloy. But then there's a few pictures of Daniel Malloy, and then right below him is a picture of Christian Slater. So I'm guessing the guy's real name is Daniel Malloy, and Christian Slater's character's name in that movie just happens to also be Daniel Malloy. Actually, hold on. The guy's name is Eric Bogosian.
Okay.
Eric Bogosian. And he is also in Interview with the Vampire as a different character. So they just messed up.
Maybe he's in the TV series. I don't think he's in the movie.
That could be.
I don't know. But William Russ is the guy who played Edward Norton's dad in American History X. Once
I clicked on him and I saw a more clear picture, I knew it wasn't the guy from American History X. Any whoozle be.
Yeah, he was the dad on Boy Meets World.
Gotcha. Okay. Man, I forgot about that. I'm sure when I saw American History X for the first time, I was probably like, "Hey, that's the dad from Boy Meets World."
Probably.
And then, since then, have not thought that.
You're like, "That's Christian Slater."
Yeah, I know him anywhere. He interviewed the vampires.
He doesn't seem old enough to play Edward Norton's dad in this film, but pulled it off.
Hollywood's a wacky place.
Mm-hmm.
It's wacky.
Now get out there and curb stomp.
Kids. It's fun. I'm sure we can repurpose what that is and not make it be
curb
stomping on someone's head against the curb.
No, it's just stomping on a curb. What are you talking about?
Yeah, just stomping on a curb is a form of dancing. Get mud off the shoes. You could stomp and then scrape. You can stomp and scrape. Try to get some more off. Yeah, there's some other techniques.
Mm-hmm. Good old stomp and scrape.
I forget when exactly this was. I don't think I've talked about it, but you might be able to tell by the hat I'm wearing that I went to my very first St. Paul Saints baseball game.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't paying. Just because you have the hat doesn't mean that I can assume that that's what you did with it, like that you went to a game. You could have just bought the hat.
Why would I do that?
I don't know. Why would you buy it for going anyways?
I didn't buy it for going. I bought it at the stadium.
Why did you buy it why did you buy one while you were there? I mean,
it was just, I just felt like it. I'm like,
are you a supporter now?
I guess in the way of if doing as little as buying a hat makes me a supporter, then yeah, technically I am.
Well, now people are now people, if you wear that out and about, people will be like, oh, he supports the St. Paul Saints. They might think he's a fan of the St. Paul Saints, or he enjoys. I mean, I don't know. Are you even a fan of baseball? Nah, barely. I was when I was younger. But I barely am. I wouldn't. No, I'm not. I'm not now. Sounds like stolen valor to me. I'm not asking for valor. If someone's giving me valor, I'm not. You're not a St. Paul Saint. That is stolen valor, sir. Yeah, I'm not. I mean, by wearing a hat, I don't claim to be a member of the team. Yeah, you don't live in St. Paul, nor are you a saint. Yeah, I don't qualify. Nor can I run round the bases. Stolen valor. Nor can I bunt. Well, you can't run around the bases at this age. You don't think I can run around the bases of a baseball diamond? No, I'm not like you. I know. I'm actually, I would be fucking, I wouldn't I wouldn't be like exhausted from it, but I'd probably get sore from it. Because one trip around the bases? Like not sprinting. We're not talking like the ball landed in the outfield and they need to throw it in and you got to hoof it.
We're talking like you knocked it out of the park, and you're just doing a casual celebratory run around the bases, waving your hat.
I mean that would probably be fine, but
you'd be wearing a helmet.
I have issues with my feet lately that my feet are just constantly sore all the time. So
that's a problem. That's a
getting older.
That's a get that checked out.
Maybe I have gout.
The only thing I've noticed sometimes is my shoulders a little funny. Like it feels a little like the muscles doing something. I don't know. It feels strained more. Like if I do some bench pressing or something, like I definitely feel it more in my left shoulder than my right. I got to be careful when I'm doing the initial push up, like to get it up. Yeah, not at work. There's a gym downstairs, so I basically I never do anything super strenuous. I'll just go down on some breaks and lunches and do like little mini workouts just to keep my body from not being completely sedentary. And so, yeah, I'll do this. I'll do the thing where
like low weights, high reps.
Yeah, your forearms are resting on the pads and you're holding on the handles and your back is up against the half of that exercise ball. And you just kind of like almost do like ab crunches in a way. I'll do those. I'll do the other thing where you're just doing sit-ups on the bench. Then I'll lift these other weights, and I'll do some squats every now and then. I do that, a few times a week, sometimes every day. If a week has not much else going on. I've been pretty involved lately with these cornhole tournaments and dart tournaments at work that it's taken away from going to the workout every now and then. But hey, I lost the most recent qualifying round for this dart tournament, so I didn't even make it into the tournament. And people have been absent, so my teammate and I have not even been able to play a cornhole game all week. Because some people just don't want to come to work.
See, I'm always lifting, bending, and doing all sorts of shit at work all the time. So
I suppose
my workout in a way. It's not like a proper workout, but
no. But you're right. You're active at work. I'm sitting at a desk, so it's like I need to get up and move around to be able to just maintain and not expand. So I would, and I'll go on walks around the building and stuff if I'm not doing that. So. I would say I would have no issue rounding the bases at a diamond.
Yeah, for me, it's an impact thing. Like I can bike all day, every day. Like whatever, but
you should try running. I heard that we're actually designed to run on. We're landing on not the ball of the foot, or the ball of the foot, and not the heel. Yeah. Like it's designed to handle more impact than the heel is.
Yeah, you're supposed to kind of run on your. Yeah, on the ball and the toes.
It's interesting. Have you tried doing it?
Yeah, it's weird.
It feels like it's not right, but
but you can actually run a lot faster that way, and you can maintain stamina a lot more doing it that way. Because we were born to run, actually, or we were like, that's how they used to. Back in the day, it's how they used to fucking like hunt down animals. Is that we couldn't outrun the animal, but we couldn't like outrun them for speed, but we could outrun them for distance. They would tucker out before we would.
Yeah, and then it's like letting your opponent punch themselves out in a boxing match. Just let them tire themselves out. Yeah, that's what we used to do. I heard that as well. On the old television.
I heard it once. It was like specifically like about kangaroos, like how they would hunt kangaroos.
Oh, strange.
Yeah, because a kangaroo obviously can just hop its ass away, but eventually they would just get so tired and their muscles would just stiffen up and they would just kind of collapse, and then they'd be like, all right, just kill it.
Here I'm picturing like herds of buffalo and stuff like that. I mean,
I'm sure all the same, but I specifically just happened to hear it about how they would hunt kangaroos.
I wonder if people commonly eat kangaroo today. Do you think that's something that's served a lot?
Probably not in most parts of the world, but maybe where kangaroos are.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can stuff can be imported, and so
Yeah.
I mean, but I just don't see it. I never hear of it being served in any American restaurants. Not to say that it would be limited to like Australia, for example,
Right.
but you'd think that if it was something that was commonly eaten, you would find it here and there in some local places that are maybe more expensive. So the fact that you don't, maybe to me, says that it's not really a popular dish.
Yeah, I don't know if it's something that maybe it's outlawed or something. I don't know. But I don't think kangaroos are like endangered by any means.
Yeah, like protected. There's too damn many of them.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere in Australia. I don't see many in America.
Yeah. Pretty rare.
Yeah. I also went ahead and got myself my third crown in the mouth. And right now I have the temporary crown, so I can't eat really crunchy things or sticky things, and I can't chew gum. And if I want to floss around that particular tooth, I need to make sure it's just the regular old string of floss that I can run it through versus trying to pull it back down, because it might knock down the temporary.
I have zero.
So that's been fun. I'm on my third. So good stuff. But
you're dominating if this was a game of checkers.
Yeah. Mouth checkers.
But
I predict that this will be my last, because something I hadn't gone
taken out.
Well, I hadn't gone to the dentist since before COVID. And so I was long overdue. And so
I got you beat.
Well, that's fine, but I'm just like, I'm tired of like, oh, I've got another cavity, got to go back and get it filled. Oh, I've got this. Oh, I've got this. So I've been pretty obsessively flossing and brushing. I'll floss and brush 4 times a day at least now.
That could be too many.
Well, I'm not brushing crazy hard,
but you could still be, overbrushing is still a thing, because you could damage the enamel on your teeth if you brush too much.
I'll have to talk to someone who knows what they're talking about that. It's not you. So I'll check on that.
It's just so rude.
It's factual, though. It's like when a doctor delivers information you don't want to hear, and they're not doing it to hurt your feelings. They're not concerned about your feelings. They're concerned about you just getting the information you need to make the next move for your health.
Right.
So I'm just telling you, you're not a dentist. So you're not an expert on dental hygiene and what is too much and too little brushing.
Well,
you're also someone who said, yes, but you're someone who just said that you got me beat in waiting 4 years to go to the dentist. So
yeah, but that doesn't mean that what I said isn't real. That overbrushing and damaging your enamel is a real thing.
I didn't. Well, first of all, I didn't say it wasn't a real thing. I just am
okay.
The thing I need to
my knowledge on that specific subject.
The thing I need to get nailed down is the amount that I'm doing it too much, or
could be over time.
Is it not too much? Well, anything's too much over time. You die, and you could blame it on anything. Oh, he brushed too much. Otherwise, he'd still be alive.
He lives too long.
Oh man, most people die from living too long. That's the number one cause of death.
Yeah.
So doctors, I don't think they're really working on that. They're trying to work on the more concentrated.
We're too busy worrying about making sure we don't wrinkle.
Hey, that's who wants to be a wrinkly old fart? People want to look young forever.
I say age with grace.
And look
at Hollywood.
Well, that's okay, but I mean, not to compliment you or anything, but I'd say the aging you've done has been graceful. I find more
other than my body's falling apart, I think at least I don't look like I've gotten older.
That's the thing. Is what I'm saying is people that say that, "Oh, I'm just going to let myself age." They're the ones that are aging and not looking like they're 30 years older than they are.
Well, there
are people that are aging.
Go ahead.
There are people that are aging horribly, and I'm sure they would like to not be in that position. They would like to be looking better than they do.
But the sad like reality of it, I guess, is like obviously celebrities are what you see because they're the ones that are either doing it or not doing it, and it's obvious. Most of the times, the ones that, I mean, people who just get like little stuff done, it's like unnoticeable stuff. It's like, okay, whatever. But then you look at certain people and it's just like, wow, they obviously were too scared to allow themselves to age, and they've gone way too fucking far with it. And then you look at certain people that are just like Steve Carell, for instance. He's just aging. The guy looks great. He's just gray, but he's still like, he looks the same. He just looks a little bit older. And then you look at like Mickey Rourke, for instance, and that guy just fucked himself up because he wanted to maintain his good looks, and his face is fucked now.
Yeah.
Or
there's definitely, he is a mess.
He looks like a monster.
There's definitely this point of no return. Like, there's no going back. Like you said, there's those subtle things that people do, which
little
if
Botox,
it's just a sort of, just to sort of rejuvenate an area here and there to make it look a little younger, whatever. But yeah, I mean, in my previous relationship, I'll call it a marriage. I suppose it's technically what it was. No, not that's
weird. What a weird way to phrase it.
No, I know. I know.
Who calls it that?
Anyway, there was a lot of viewing of the Housewives shows, and I know one of the ones on Beverly Hills, I think, was very proud to say that she has never had any kind of work done, and some of the others on that show, it is scary.
They look like goblins and ghouls. They're just like, it's like, that's not someone I married.
And how do you, I mean, someone that is doing that might already suffer from some sort of dysmorphia.
Yeah, that's
before they even start. Too. But how can anyone look at themselves once they've gone that far in and go, yeah, this. Not only do I think this looks, I wanted to be. Not only do I think this looks good, I'm going to continue to make sure I stay looking this way.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm sure if you go crazy with plastic surgery and you look mangled, if you don't maintain that, it might even go worse. Like you'll just deflate, and then all of a sudden you're a crumpled up balloon version of that face.
Right.
But still, it's, I don't know. Maybe let yourself go beyond that and see, is it worse? If it's not too much worse, maybe it's at least a less expensive way to live.
Yeah, I don't think they're worried about the money because they already have plenty of money if they're on a show like that, for one.
True. Some of them were like more, they're not the regulars. They're sort of satellite people that are on there every now and then. So I'm sure they're not making tons, but they're already rich. All of them are already rich. They don't. They don't need the money.
And then the show pays them whatever to be on the show, and then they just can take that little chunk of money and go get something else removed or added.
I bet you the show even separately pays them to go get work done. That's not even part of their salary or something. I would not be surprised. Rich people always get stuff for free, and they always just are given more money because it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, it's insane.
I'm not saying don't get plastic surgery. If you wanna do something for yourself to make yourself feel better about yourself, I'm all for it. But just find the finish line. Find the finish line as early as possible, because if you do too much, you're just going to harm yourself. And then, you get to a point where you can't go back.
It's like you drink too much, but then you never sober up.
Yeah.
You drink too much to the point where you're sick and throwing up, but then you just never get sober after that. You're permanently in that state.
Yeah, that doesn't sound
It's
very
not fun. It's not fun for anyone involved. It's not fun for you, and it's not fun for anyone that has to look at you. Because they have to pretend that you don't look like a ghoul.
Mm-hmm.
On a separate note,
yeah,
I saw some real. I think you saw a picture of this, but I saw some real life LARPers.
Yeah, I saw that photo.
Yeah,
Fun.
that was exciting. We were headed to a barbecue, and we pull up, and I see some people in the distance running around. And I'm like, oh, I think those are LARPers. And then, we.
It looked pretty haphazardly put together from the photos. It looked like it's just a bunch of people at a park swinging swords at each other.
Well, the thing is, I have never. So, okay. I watched the Marvel show Hawkeye. I don't know if you've watched that show or not. There are some LARPers in that show.
Okay.
And that was my first time ever hearing of the term LARP or LARPing.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I knew that people did that. I just never heard of that term before. I'm not sure why, but so this was my then seeing them for the first time in real life. And so I don't have anything to compare it to other than the show, which the show is always going to make something look a little more nice than real life. So I don't know if this was sort of like, hey, like not very
I know some
put
people
together well.
Like super, super into it. So they like do like rent out places to do it at and like set up a whole fucking thing and everything. I mean,
so let me ask you this. Over 10 years ago now, when Snooze and I went to a couple Minnesota conventions to try to hand out things to promote our webcomic, there was an area of the hotel or whatever where it was held at where there was a whole area of people where they were just sort of one-on-one sword fighting.
Okay.
Like, is that technically LARPing or is that something separate? I don't know.
That might have been something separate, I guess. It depends because LARPing is straight up, for anybody who doesn't know what LARPing is, live action role play. So you are a character. You create a character, you are that character, and then you go and participate as that character at like an event. A bunch of other people are there as characters, and you're interacting as your character.
Okay.
So some people set up, like some people go there as vendors and sell their wares. And that's their character.
We went up and we were talking to them for a little bit. And I mean, they didn't seem like they were characters, or at least when talking to us. So maybe they were out of character when doing this. But all I ever saw them do was, one group would go here and one group would go over here, and then they would charge at each other until they were, there was one whole team was, quote, dead or slain, So I don't know if that's...
It might have been like a form of LARPing, but probably not like a full on like thing. I guess they were maybe at least just doing combat.
The guy did tell us that they're in, I think September, south. He said south of Chicago, there's going to be some big like gathering where there's like 300 people coming all to this big LARPing event. So you should look into that.
I will not be there.
Oh, what if we participated and then that's something we can talk about on the show? Or you participate and I'm not there and we can talk about it on the show.
You come out here and we do an episode out there and just
it sounds like if I come out there, you won't even let me in the door. So why would I do
know
that?
You're coming ahead of time?
Oh, I can't just surprise you.
Yeah, I don't like surprises.
Okay, so if your mom and sister's boyfriend come, that's fine. But if I come, you're not letting me set foot You're not letting me cross the threshold.
They ruined it for everybody else.
They did.
Yep.
Who's everybody else?
In the future, anybody else who surprises me won't get that luxury.
Gotcha.
Unless you come offering something. Like they came and offered help.
I'm offering a good time with the LARPers. You can't turn that down. No rational, sane person would turn that down.
I do know that there are LARPing events that happen quite often. I think at least maybe possibly monthly here in Chicago or nearby.
And you've attended zero of these events?
I have gone to none. I have been invited, and I have said no every time.
Who invited you?
A person that I know.
Oh, got it. Sip. You're like, I want to avoid this conversation. Large sip.
Yeah, not really avoiding the conversation, but
yeah. So yeah, LARPing, Crown, Saints game, all these things.
Crazy stuff. And you attended a wedding recently?
Correct. Yes, I was up in North Dakota attending a wedding, and the cookout was the next day. And
Sean got invited to the cookout.
I did, and the funny thing is, we left before any food was actually prepared. The timing of this cookout was more catered to those that don't have to drive far on a Sunday. So, we left, I think, at maybe 6:30 in the evening, and no food had been even started to be prepared.
What time did the cookout start?
A little bit before 5:00.
Oh, it's a pretty late cookout.
Yeah. So,
but I'm not entirely surprised that the food wasn't prepared yet.
It was geared for
food starts. It ends up happening kind of later in the cookout. Even if the cookout starts at noon, you might not eat till 5.
Well, yeah. So there was no shot. There was no shot of. So I mean, that just means I didn't have to prove myself or do. I didn't have. There was no chance for me to screw things up at this cookout.
Were you asked to cook at the cookout?
No.
Okay. You're just saying you didn't verbally screw anything up because you had to leave early.
But like if you don't eat if you don't completely clean your plate or something, I think that can be looked as like not respectful or something.
Depends on the crowd, I guess.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, I don't know. I haven't been to a cookout before.
Yeah.
And so
I foresee more cookout invites in your future.
Probably. Yeah. Possibly.
And then you can be like, this food tastes so different than what I'm used to. What did you do with it? And they say, we seasoned it.
Yeah. No,
what is the seasoning you speak of?
Huh? Well, yeah, I've got salt and pepper in my cupboard. That's what you mean, right?
No,
I've got a bunch of different things. I've got Old Bay seasoning. I've got paprika. I've got smoked paprika. I've got oregano. And, that's not impressive.
Really
some stuff like
oregano as seasoning.
Nah, there's Italian seasoning. I have that too. I have others. I have cumin. I have cayenne pepper. I've got some stuff. I don't have the full array of seasonings.
I know you've been dabbling in cooking.
Yeah, I'm experimenting with. Not experimenting so much as following recipes to a T, but I've been trying new recipes. We'll say that.
Yeah, but once you try enough recipes, then you kind of learn like what goes good with what, and then you can kind of play around. Yeah.
So I
works.
I made the assumption that as far as meatloafs go, like classic meatloaf is just that's kind of boring and played out, and I want to try various other modifications of meatloaf. So I made Philly cheese like meatloaf that's meant to sort of mimic a cheesesteak, and then I did one that was like an enchilada type of a style
Interesting.
of meatloaf. And then my son had them both, and he said, I'm like, oh, which do you prefer? Are the two I've made so far? They were several months apart from each other. And he goes, I prefer classic meatloaf. I'm like, oh. So then I made classic meatloaf.
Yeah.
And he said it was the best meatloaf he's ever had.
Oh, I prefer Paradise by the Dashboard light meatloaf.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
It's
it good?
it's the biggest hit song by the musical artist.
Gotcha. I didn't hear everything you said, so I thought maybe this was some, pre-made brand of meatloaf that you like to buy frozen. And
No, I haven't had a meatloaf in years. We did like a cheeseburger meatloaf.
This told me this classic meatloaf I made told me not to use a loaf pan and just make
Just
like a little.
Tuck it on a sheet.
Well, you put it on a baking sheet with some foil, and then you just sort of form it into a loaf-like shape, and then cook it that way. There was some saying it would like just if you make it in a loaf, a lot of the stuff that would sort of drip away and kind of spread around it, it gets forced to. It's like swimming in this runoff. I don't know.
Yeah, all the grease from the meat and stuff.
Yeah. It allows it to come out and like sort of, spread out away from it.
Just buy a loaf pan and then drill some holes in the bottom of it and then put that on a baking sheet.
Why can't I just do what I did and not do all that? Why would I?
It's a life hack, Sean.
But if there's an easier way to do it,
don't you know anything about life hacks? They don't make life easier.
I thought that's what they were supposed to do.
All the life hacks that go out now are just like ridiculous things that it's just like, well, you could just do this easier instead of like save all your bottle caps and do this weird, stupid shit with them. It's like, or I could just buy this device that does it for me. I don't know. Life hacks are stupid.
Well, life hacks have kind of turned into like, repurpose your trash or,
it's
make something useful out of something you would normally get rid of.
I'll just throw away my trash. I'm not going to cut holes in a bunch of tennis balls and then put googly eyes on them so I can hang my keys from them.
I'm not going to drill holes in the bottom of a loaf pan when I can just
sounds great.
That's easy. Was it? No, my life hack I think is legit, and it got over 3,000 views on TikTok.
What was your life hack again?
That was the soup thing. You open a can of soup and you stack the bowl upside down on top of the can, and then you flip it all over at once, and then you lift the can, so there's no chance of you pouring it into the bowl and any of it splashing out. It works.
You can just pour it into the bowl. It doesn't. If you're not a maniac and pour it out with fucking all your might, you can pour it slowly without spilling it.
What happens is, but this is quicker. So what happens is, if you have something, a very thin soup, like not like a stew or like a creamy soup, but you start to pour it out. You start to pour it out. All the broth pours out first, and then the contents of the soup start to pour out, and they land in the pool of broth, and the broth splashes up everywhere. This alleviates that problem. You
know what would also help that situation? Before you just take your can that's been sitting in the pantry for maybe a week or up to a month, shake it up a little bit so that not all the contents aren't all stuck to the bottom of the fucking can. Then open it up and then pour it up. Well, they settle. So that's why you pour all the fucking fluid out first, and then all the stuff comes splashing in like it's a fucking synchronized swimming team.
Look, they deserve that silver. What is easier to do than shaking the can is just putting the bowl on top of the can upside down. It's easier.
I wouldn't say that's any easier than shaking a can. You already have the can in your hand.
Yes, but you have to exert less energy.
Now you have to grab this and do that. Like you pull the top off.
That's less energy than shaking the can.
You have to set the top down to then grab the bowl and put the bowl on top and then flip it over. I can guarantee you.
There's got to be a better way.
I can guarantee you I can get soup into a bowl faster and still not spill any of it than you doing your method.
But are you expending less energy? We need to have sensors on our bodies that measure the amount of calories we burn in emptying our cans of soup.
I want to burn more calories.
But you said that you get like your muscles get sore and you're tired and you can barely wake your way around a set of bases. You don't want to waste precious energy.
That's my feet. I'm not opening cans with my feet.
No, but you said you would be sore and out of breath.
I didn't say I would be out of breath. I said my feet would be sore.
But you would be out of breath.
You're making that judgment, not me.
It's accurate. Anyway, I think I'm better at eating soup than you.
This has nothing to do with eating soup.
Look, I can eat more soup than you.
I could out-eat soup.
I can out-soup you any day.
Out-soup you. I could soup you under the fucking table.
Although you taught me, and you didn't go, let me teach you this, but I until I saw you when you get your when you're at a restaurant and you get soup and they hand you that little packet of like 2 saltine crackers.
Mm-hmm.
Until I saw you do this, I never thought to crumple them up still in the package and then open it. I would always open it, take them out, crumple them up, and then have crumbs all over my hands. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know why I never thought of that until I saw you do it one day.
And that's why you have 3 fucking crowns, because you just don't think things through. Yeah. Venn diagram that shit and figure out how that works.
There's not a lot of sugar in soup or crackers even. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, we've got some work to do.
That's also how I deal with like if like Iman likes to put Oreos in her ice cream. So we buy the little cups full of the tiny little mini Oreos.
Uh-huh.
So I pour a bunch of them into a little Ziploc bag and then I smash them with a fucking meat tenderizer in the bag, and then I pour them into the ice cream.
Isn't that a bit of overkill? A meat tenderizer? You can't just like hit it with your hand?
That's what I have. It's just easier.
You also have your hand.
I don't want to injure my hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now this is something. Now this is something that might injure you. With shaking my hand.
Yeah. Shaking the can. Hands.
No risk whatsoever.
Spray paint. I used to shake spray paint cans all the time. I can do
in
this.
In your youth?
I can do this and this all fucking day.
All day? Really?
All day.
No chafing?
I said nothing about chafing. I can do this motion all day. Okay. Doesn't mean I'm touching anything.
You do it all day just to make sure
all day I would hurt myself.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, there would be an injury involved, and it wouldn't be my hands.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It'd be the other guy's dick.
Yes. Well, just you switch. You have a lineup of guys in order to be able to do that all day.
I can't do anything with this wrist right now because I actually did injure this wrist.
But you just said you could do that all day.
I didn't injure this wrist masturbating.
I know. I was about to say no, but I don't really know how you did it or not. But so you're saying you could jerk off one person all day long, but not switch and go down a line of men?
Who has a line of men?
You could
tell me where to find a line of men, and I will do it. But I can't
put out an ad on Craigslist. Put out something. Yeah,
put an APB for a bunch of dudes that need to get whacked.
Yeah. Call the police. Yeah, can you round up a bunch of missing men so that I can jerk them off all day?
Yeah,
I'm bored. I'm bored. So,
I'm bored, and I hope they're stiff as a because I need to jerk off.
Put out something on Craigslist. You guaranteed could get some volunteers.
True.
Or you could just
do people still go on Craigslist?
I don't know. Maybe Facebook Marketplace.
Angie's List.
Yeah. Go to Angie's List. Go to the BBB website and see what guys are the best at being jerked off.
Go to ashleymadison.com and find all the guys that are trying to cheat on their wives.
Yeah. With some guy in Chicago.
Who just wants to give him a wank.
While giving a wink.
A wank. Why did I say wank?
I don't know. You're
wank?
tired from moving.
No, you know what? Today I'm not too bad.
Good.
All I really did, I just did some stuff in my room today. That's about it. Not whacking. I just did some setup.
Not wanking.
Yeah, I haven't wanked yet.
You haven't christened the old new establishment, the new digs, right? That's what a place you live in is called.
I haven't made any carpet stains yet. As I call them.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Just don't.
Just let this place be.
Come on. Can't one place be left? Can't you just let one place, go without the defiling?
I
guarantee you, no one that's lived in this place before you has ever done it either. So just leave it alone.
Who knows? This it's had one tenant prior to us with these owners, so.
But who knows with the prior owners?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know when the renovations were done to this place, to like the carpets and all that. I don't know if it was when these people bought it or if it was already this way. Who knows? I'll tell you what's
Not
nice.
me. What's that?
Having a dedicated washer and dryer.
Oh yeah, you do.
And they are both high capacity.
Whoa.
So
mine's not high capacity. That's for sure.
Yeah, I did. I washed a shit ton of fucking blankets that were needing a wash. And
I might come over to your place once a week to wash bedding.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's way cheaper than going to my local laundromat.
Yeah.
I'm sure of it. And takes less time. No, it's probably not. I should run the numbers to be sure of that. But
it was super nice. So yeah, that Tuesday when I was here all day, I did like 6 loads of laundry or some shit.
I bet you were regretting getting rid of all those clothes because you're like, man, there's just not enough. I could wash so much stuff right now, and I just got rid of.
No, I had plenty of like blankets and shit that we were just kind of like, we'll get to these eventually. We don't need them right now, so we'll wash them when we get a chance. And then that laundromat that was down the street from my place closed down, and some fucking like rehabilitation like place went in there. Physical therapy place went in there. So
waste of space.
Yeah. So then we were like, well, we don't have a nice big laundromat nearby anymore. So then we're like, oh, I'll have to find a new laundromat. And that was like a year ago. So the blankets have just been waiting to get washed for a long time.
See, it's no thing for me to bring blankets to the laundromat because that's the only thing I wash there. Like, I don't go there to wash my clothes. So it's not like, oh, the blankets too. Oh, no, I'll do them next time or something.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I was just I was getting very sick of doing laundry in the building because it was one washer, one dryer for 6-unit building, which isn't bad, but like 75% of the time I'd go down there, somebody would have laundry just like sitting in a machine.
Oh yeah. There was one time my son had a bedding set that was like a white blanket that had like, spaceships and stars and moons and kind of stuff on it. And there was matching pillowcases. Well, one time I was washing his stuff and I came back and the pillowcases were gone. The blanket was there, but someone just decided, I'm going to take these 2 pillowcases.
Yeah, I never left my stuff at a laundromat. I always just sat there with it because I didn't trust that shit wouldn't get fucked with.
I'm not going to say which one I go to, but I'll like throw it in the dryer and set it for like 90 minutes. And then I'm like 10 minutes away. So I'm like, I'm just going to go home. I'll come back. I'm not going to sit in this laundromat for an hour and a half.
I was literally, the laundromat was literally less than a block away from my apartment. And I would still just sit there because I'm just like, nope, not going to sit here. And I don't know who comes in and out of here who could just come and take your laundry and walk away with it.
Yeah.
I just sat there and hung out. True. Now I don't have to, because now I can just set it and forget it, as Ron Popeil would say.
Oh, I was going to say Ron Popeil, and I'm going to say, see you next Tuesday. Finger flutter.
If you have a question, complaint, or threat for Sean or Matt, you can reach us on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, X, or Instagram at hsfamouspod, or you can email the show at highschoolfamous@gmail.com. No animals were pleasured during the making of this podcast, despite our best efforts. All hail our Lord and Savior.
Hollywood's a wacky place.